sitting underneath, waiting to break.
I just pissed him off. Then he broke my brother's jaw. Fuck this guy.
Broke his jaw, huh?
Yeah, oh, he split his jaw straight. You know? He don't care though. Jake's having a fucking blast.
Yeah.
Upset, really, like deep down in my heart. Oh man. Oh.
It doesn't look like he has any major injuries. He's true, and that would be fantastic, and obviously be a very lucky boy if that.
The knockout didn't happen when the punch landed. The knockout happened the moment the world saw the look on Logan Paul's face. Welcome back to another deep dive with Big Mo. Before we get into the wreckage of what went down, I want to make sure we're starting this year off right. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button to join the community so we can kick off this new year with the most honest, unfiltered takes in the game. Now, let's get into the fallout.
Yeah, it was largely because he was mostly running away from AJ rather than standing toe-to-toe with him to fight. It's the difference between fighting a Bengal tiger and running away from a
Snap back with me for a second. Because before the silence, before the panic, and before the cameras caught the image of Jake Paul being carried out with shattered jaw, this was sold as destiny. This was marketed as a masterclass in control. The moment the Paul brothers would finally rewrite the history of boxing. But that's the thing about reality. It doesn't care about your script. This entire event ended with a meltdown that no one was prepared for. And if you look closer at the footage,
he's so big. He's so much bigger. So, of course, like, his punch that he knocks Tyron Woodley out cold with, Joshua just eats it.
Yeah.
Because he's a giant.
Yeah.
He's a
you'll realize that the final damage wasn't the physical punch. It was the exposure. It was a kind of exposure that rips a brand wide open and leaves everyone involved scrambling to fix a narrative that is bleeding out in real time. The fallout you saw on your screens was only the surface. There is something much uglier sitting underneath, waiting to break through the PR spin.
I'm just so proud of him. My mom hasn't.
Your brother fought his ass off, man. I mean, other heavyweights have taken that right hand and only took one.
I'm just so proud of him. That was incredible. In my view, that was a victory on all fronts.
Everyone keeps replaying that round 6 knockout, but I'm stuck on the moment right after the referee called it. That is when the illusion actually died. Logan Paul wasn't calm. He wasn't protective older brother checking on his siblings' health. He was furious. That rage wasn't aimed at Anthony Joshua. It was aimed inward. It was aimed at Jake, at the plan, and at the story that was supposed to end with him standing on top of the world. You have to ask yourself why a brother reacts like a manager whose primary investment just collapsed.
I'm just so proud of him. My mom hasn't.
Your brother fought his ass off, man. I mean, other heavyweights have taken that right hand and only took one.
I'm just so proud of him. That was incredible. In my view, that was a victory on all fronts.
That reaction tells you more truth than any polished press conference ever could. We haven't heard the full story yet. Not even close. Weeks before the fight, the confidence coming out of the Paul camp felt reckless. Almost like they believed the result was pre-written in a contract somewhere. Logan was out there calling Joshua washed, calling him beatable, and labeling him a legacy-ender target. When you speak like that, you aren't just hyping a fight. You're gambling your entire reputation on a single outcome. Logan tied his own image to Jake's fists. And the second that bell rang, there was no separating brotherhood from branding. As soon as Jake started backing up, you could feel the entire plan unraveling in high definition. The warnings were everywhere, but everyone ignored them on purpose because the clicks were too good to pass up. Analysts kept saying that influence of boxing ends where heavyweight reality begins, but the noise drowned out the caution. When Joshua stood there, patient, cold, and calculated, you could see the shift on Jake's face. The stiff legs, the tight shoulders, the eyes frantically searching for an exit. Suddenly, this wasn't about disrupting the sport or proving the haters wrong. It was about survival. That shift is where careers quietly die before a knockout even lands. Jake quickly realized that standing toe-to-toe with a man like AJ was a suicide mission, so he incorporated flight into his strategy, running, freezing, and falling to the ground at any chance just to buy more seconds. It's the difference between fighting a Bengal tiger and running away from one. You might survive for a few minutes, but the tiger is still a tiger. Do you remember what Mike Tyson famously said? Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. Anthony Joshua is a giant. He is a massive human being who eats the kind of punches that Jake used to knock out Tyron Woodley. When the knockout started, the belief drained fast. For times on the canvas isn't bad luck, it's confirmation. When a man gets dropped that many times, the fight stops being competitive and starts being instructional. At 1:31 of round 6, it was done. It wasn't debated or controversial. It was just finished. The silence that followed wasn't shock. It was recognition. It was a sound of hype collapsing under the weight of physics. The numbers made it even worse. Landing 16 punches out of 56 isn't bravery. It's a total erasure skill. When the injury report dropped, double broken jaw. Surgery required. The conversation should have ended right there. But it didn't, because the real chaos was emotional. As Jake was carried out, Logan lost total control. That wasn't just worry for his brother. That was embarrassment, panic, and anger all colliding at once. Watching Logan in that moment was uncomfortable because it didn't look like love. It looked like betrayal, like someone had ruined his script without permission. This was damage control panic in 4K resolution. When your trash talk gets replayed next to knockout footage of your brother's jaw being shattered, you don't get to reframe that later. Backstage reports made the situation even darker. Shaking, shouting, and pacing don't come from a single loss. They come from a realization that the Paul experiment has hit a wall it can't spin past. Logan kept replaying the moment mentally, trying to rewrite it because the real-world version was unacceptable. This YouTuber, who's fought Tommy Fury and a few retired wrestlers, finally stepped into the ring with a legit, elite knockout artist in the heavyweight division, and the result was exactly what the purists predicted. Days later, the tone shift from their camp was almost comical. Suddenly, the narrative changed to logical conclusion, skill gap, and respect for toughness. That's what happens when bravado fails. The revisionist history starts immediately, but the internet doesn't forget. Those earlier words like legacy ender echo a lot louder after you've been humbled. The calm statements now sound rehearsed, whereas the panic in the ring was the only truth we saw. The family angle is what poisoned this deeper. Logan needed Jake to win, not for boxing history, but for image stability. This brand runs on a concept of absolute control and unwavering confidence. When Jake fell, the foundation shook. Logan looked less like a brother and more like a furious executive watching millions of dollars in future revenue disappear. People might laugh at the meltdown clips, but I see a warning flare. When ego gets louder than preparation, the sport always collects its payment, and heavyweight boxing doesn't offer refunds. This fight didn't just expose Jake, it exposed the entire ecosystem that pushed him into that ring. Anthony Joshua didn't need to say a word because the aftermath spoke for him. Skill beat noise. Experience crushed confidence. The clean line between influencer boxing and elite heavyweight reality was drawn in blood and panic. Once lines like that are drawn, they don't fade, they harden. To get that world-class gas tank in recovery, you need more than just heart. You need a team of experts monitoring your V02 max, your heart rate variability, and your recovery metrics every single second. You can't shortcut the science of the sport. The scariest part of all of this is how fast it unraveled. It wasn't a slow fall, it was instant. From bravado to silence, from control to chaos. That speed tells you how fragile the structure really was. When a brand cracks this publicly, more pieces usually fall later. Everyone says this will be remembered for the knockout, but I think they're wrong. It will be remembered for the moment to cameras.